1 week on exactly since Nico Lundvin, Holcim PRB, set a new solo 24 hours monohull distance record. Paprec Arkia solo skipper Johan Richem dramatically bettered that mark this morning in the Vendée Globe before running out of track and hitting the buffers as he and the other leaders of the solo non-stop race around the world slowed into the doldrums. The contrast could not have been more marked. Richem sailed a distance of 551.8 for nautical miles in the 24 hours up to 0830 hours this morning in near-perfect conditions. But a few short hours later he was all but stopped, floating in almost millpond-like winds that had welcomed him to the doldrums. Reflecting the speed and efficiency of his latest generation Finno Concoq design, on his record sprint wind speeds were relatively modest around 17 knots, but emerging from a high-pressure ridge of light winds, the seas were very flat, which allowed the double solo Transat winner to push hard, in relative comfort. He bettered Lundvin's record by 5.24 miles, all to be ratified by WSSRC. Standing on the deck of Paprec Arkia, with his shirt off because of the heat and humidity whilst making only a few knots, Richem said with a grin, "It was pretty unexpected because the run in between the ridge and the ITCZ has been quite short, and so I was not even looking at beating the record because I thought it would be less than 500 miles, but apparently it was enough, and it is my main pleasure is to beat Nico Lundvin in life." He laughs. "It is good, I really pushed hard. I wanted to catch the guys in front because I am really afraid of a breakaway near Brazil, and so I thought I could cover some miles on that day, and it worked out. It is not paying off too much right now as I am stuck in a light spot and have been here for 3 hours doing 3 or 4 knots. And so the thing is maybe if there was 100 or so miles of breeze it could have been a good number of miles more." And, asked how long he felt his record might stand for, he responded, "If we do get into a warm front in front of a cold front on a flat sea, I think the crude record is doable because I don't think it matters too much if you are solo or crewed, we can get a lot closer to the crude record. But you have to have the right conditions, so let us see if that happens. I feel most of these boats have these kind of speeds now." As he spoke in the show, Richem still had his long-time rival Charlie Dahlin, Massif Santi Prevoyance, clearly in view, both snared in the same calm. Asked how much longer he anticipated being slowed, he quipped, "I am not so sure, but as long as it is before Charlie Dahlin I don't mind." Leader Sam Goodchild, Vulnerable, of Britain, was the first to be slowed down around 0500 hours UTC before being gradually caught by his closest rivals. Sebastian Simon, Groupe du Breuil, was within 3 or 4 miles of Goodchild's lead, whilst third-placed Lundvin was at 25 miles behind but making just 3 knots. Logically, the first in should be first out as there is very little lateral separation between the leaders. And routing suggests they might be in for no more than 20 hours before they emerge into the southeasterly trade winds, which will be around 15 knots. Meantime, cumulonimbus clouds, violent squalls, and torrential rain might be mixed with light and variable wind. Mentally and physically, this phase promises to be just as exhausting. In the doldrums, the sailors have to juggle between the squalls, sometimes nasty and sudden, and the light ones. This requires them to constantly change sails and then be on the lookout for the slightest change, notes Jack Carras, one of the assistant race directors, who knows from experience to what extent the zone can become extremely messy and frustrating. But the South Atlantic is brimful of promise. It is almost too good to be true, noted Germany's Boris Herrmann, Malaysia Sea Explorer, on a brief call this morning. There looks to be a good chance of a direct southeasterly course because the South Atlantic high is quite displaced east, and there is a front evolving which the lead group should make to be slingshot into the southern oceans at high speeds. It's a scenario that we rarely see, and which would probably be considered perfect for record chasers in large multihulls, enthused Carras, who broke the trophy Jules Verne record on the Max Tri Orange. And if these conditions do arrive as expected, maybe Richem's 24-hour record will prove short-lived.
Bon, j'ai un petit message pour Nico Lulu, mec, je suis désolé, je suis vraiment triste pour toi. Mais je t'ai piqué ton record du monde, mec! 551 000! Allez, la revanche dans le sud. Ciao, ciao! Et voilà, on est reparti. On a trouvé du vent. Ça déboîte. 27, 28, 29. Allez, là-bas en plus dans la vague. C'est bon ça. Allez, c'est reparti. Le vent est rentré après cet anticyclone là, direction le poteau noir. Et il nous reste genre 400 000, moins de 24 heures. Là, ça va bombarder. Je sais pas ce que c'est le record de Nicolas Luneven, on verra. Peut-être on n'a pas assez long pour le faire là. Et ça va être un bord très sympa. Il n'y a pas trop de mer. 18, 19 nœuds. Ouh. Allez, on abat. On a failli perdre le safran là. Allez, on va voir dehors, je vous montre ce que ça donne. Bien. 30 nœuds. Petit saut de vague. Ouh. Allez, c'est bon ça. Allez, à l'arrière qui décolle. Je vais lui plaquer l'arrière avec le ballast. Ah bon, on s'en lasse pas. Hein. Ça déboîte, ça déboîte. Allez, c'est reparti, un dernier. Ah ben voilà, pour finir une douche et éviter de peu. Allez, je vous envoie tout ça. Bonne journée à tous.
C'est tout calme, très très calme, mais ça avance. Et ça là, c'est les vestiges d'une manœuvre ratée cette nuit. Et du coup, je l'ai dans le baba. Il va falloir que je la remonte, je la rehisse, que je la redéroule, que je la re-enroule et que je la falle correctement parce que là, elle rentre pas du tout dans le sac. Autant dire que je sais pas du tout à quel moment je vais pouvoir faire ça. Bon, ça s'est fait dans la précipitation. Et tout le monde sait que en bateau, il ne faut pas se précipiter. Je suis la première à le savoir et je me suis fait avoir pas mal de fois là depuis le début du Vendée Globe. C'est des bonnes leçons ma foi. En tout cas, aujourd'hui, je profite du soleil. Aujourd'hui, j'ai pris ma première douche au bon. Bah, c'est un samedi sympa ça. Premier week-end du Vendée Globe. Il fait beau, il commence à faire chaud, c'est tout calme. Et moi j'en profite pour me reposer, pour ranger. Les premiers jours de course ont été éprouvants, vraiment fatigants, et le bateau est un peu en bazar. Et puis il y a une bonne surprise. Là il fait tout noir, c'est normal. Et ben la bonne surprise, c'est que je suis revenue dans le match. Ici, tac, un peu au milieu de la flotte. Et donc, c'est reparti.
Hello, it's Ollie on board Toot Good on day 10 of the Vendée Globe. It's getting very warm here. We've got about 25 degrees air temperature and the water is already at 26 degrees. I'll show you an outside view. Absolutely stunning weather. It's actually quite calm and relaxing. There's not too much going on. So I thought I'd use this moment to explain to you a little bit on how I navigate using my navigation software, Adrena. So pretty much every boat in the fleet is running the same navigation software. In this program, on the left and the right, I have all my performance numbers. I see where I'm going, to which potential to the boat I actually sail. But I also see wind direction, wind strength. I then further can look at trends of all the different data, wind direction, wind strength, but also boat speed, etc. But then on the main page, I have a chart of the entire world. So I can navigate pretty much every single landfall wherever I want to stop or do something. I can check the charts. I also see where all my competitors are. Unfortunately, at the moment, they're a bit ahead of me to the right, further to the west. Ahead of me, the greened out area, that's the Cape Verdes, which is a prohibited zone for us. We're not allowed to enter this. And then the green line and the pink line are ideal routes for me based on different weather models. Now I can integrate weather models into this system, into the software. Now you can see the different colors and the barbs indicating wind strength and wind direction. And then the software knows exactly how fast my boat is supposed to sail, in which conditions, and then calculates the route. Now you can see these two routes are pretty much parallel. They go all the way down to the equator. Them being parallel means that there is a certain degree of confidence in the weather forecast, meaning that multiple different weather models agree about on what is happening with the wind over the next couple of days. In this system, even though I'm on a boat and many people think you're away from IT and computers, I spend about 8 hours a day with this system, looking at the weather, looking at my competitors, analyzing my potential route over the next couple of days, and check that there are no hazards around. So it's a very, very helpful tool. I hope that was interesting. Have a great beginning of the week, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we are officially inside the Poteau Noir, the doldrums. The sky is grey, and not now, but earlier we had a few massive rain clouds with big wind shifts of 90 degrees, 22 knots of wind, then 8 knots of wind. which is all good. A bit earlier than expected. I thought I had a bit more time to go fast before I entered the zone, but well, it's quite well visible on the set picture as well. So now we are changing sometimes sails between the bigger J0 or Code 0 and the smaller jib when the wind goes forward and goes stronger. So that gives a pretty calm day here so far. Nevertheless, the sail change in these temperatures makes you sweat, and I took the opportunity of a great shower earlier and feel fresh now. And I'm resting a bit to be ready for what might be an intense night ahead of me, with probably lots of activity, changing course, sails, trim, and activity on the bridge. I hope you're having a good day at home, and keep following. Thank you for watching. Everything is well on board. Like the sky is a bit grey and calm. I'm also quite calm today, which is nice, and not so many news today. More tomorrow. Cheers.
Bon, ça y est, on est dans le vif du sujet, du poteau noir. Je penserais qu'il serait pas si actif, mais là c'est encore les grains de la nuit. Et nous on est juste ici, avec la flotte là. Voilà, il y a pas mal d'activités. Je vous montre dehors ce que ça donne. Voilà, pour l'instant on va pas très vite. L'éclaircie là devant nous. On va dérouler le code 0 là. Voilà, bah ouais, en fait pas beaucoup dormi cette nuit. Pas mal actif. Voilà, je pense qu'on a pour au moins la journée, jusque ouais, c'est dans la nuit je pense prochaine. Voilà. Je vous montre pas le bas, je suis tout nul. Allez, à plus.
Bonjour à tous. En ce jour pour les enfants, de la protection de l'enfance, sachez que on accompagne et on essaye d'aider l'aide sociale à l'enfance dans le département du Finistère où il y a quand même 2500 enfants à placer. D'abord trouver des familles d'accueil, développer des moyens pour accueillir les enfants. Et nous, de notre petit côté à nous, on a fait participer un certain nombre d'enfants. On a fait naviguer une trentaine d'enfants sur le bateau. Et je peux vous assurer que le soir, quand ils rentrent chez eux et qu'ils ont un peu de soleil dans les yeux, ça fait plaisir. Et voilà, si je suis là, c'est aussi un peu pour eux. Maintenant, je vais vous faire un panoramique de la situation parce qu'on arrive dans le poteau noir. Clac, clac, clac. Donc là, c'est le bon côté des choses. Et là, vous voyez, là, c'est un peu ça, le poteau noir. Je ne vais pas rester longtemps parce que, je ne sais pas si vous voyez, je suis sous spi et donc ça va se gâter. Clac, clac, clac. Bon, merci à tous les enfants, on est avec vous. Allez, ciao.